So you're doing everything right, saving, maybe investing, following the advice, but it still feels like real wealth is somewhere in the distance. I spent 6 years as an investment advisor working for major financial firms, sitting across from people that have already closed the gap. And what they did differently is not what you would expect. Now, before I get into this, let me be clear about something. The clients I work with, they weren't lottery winners, they weren't internet famous. Most of them built their wealth quietly over decades. I want to walk you through the 4 things I saw my most wealthy clients do consistently. This is not theory. These are real conversations I've had with clients with real money for over 6 years. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with lesson number 1. They never performed wealth. They looked, well, average. They had the average clothing, average car. They didn't live in huge, extravagant mansions. They looked average outwardly, but their portfolio, well, that was extraordinary. And the reason being is because of this one fact that they followed. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And in order for you to be able to keep a lot of what you make, you're going to have to follow this simple principle: living below your means, not living above your means, not living extravagantly, because if you do that, well, the money that you earn is going to be eaten away by your lifestyle. Because every dollar spent proving that you have arrived is a dollar less going towards compounding. And my wealthy clients understood this very principle. You see, the wealthy clients that I work with, they focused on protecting the gap, the difference between what you have coming in and what you have going out. That's what they focused on, not how fancy they looked or how big their house was. All right, let's move on to lesson number 2. And this kind of ties into lesson number 1. They separated their income from their identity. I'm going to say that again. They separated their income from their identity. Here's where it gets costly for a lot of people. The conversations I've had with clients in the past about money were always conversations around how to protect it, how to grow it, and how to actually invest it, and how to pass it on to the next generation. It was never a question about how to actually spend it on materialistic things. Now, of course, we have conversations about setting up investments for vacations, setting investments for family, spending time with family, buying things for family, those sorts of things. Those were things that they talked about that were meaningful to them. But here's one of the things they did very well that a lot of people struggle with. They had discipline. They had discipline to let their lifestyle lag behind their income. Now, what I watched happen on the opposite side of that, the individuals that chose not to focus on keeping that gap, was completely opposite. The conversations were not about how to protect their wealth. The conversations were not about how to pass on their wealth. The conversations were not about how to invest it strategically. The conversations were always about, how do I make sure that when I get to retirement, I'm going to have enough to retire on? Because right now, the way my retirement accounts look like, I'm scared. And those conversations were never pleasant. Those conversations were the come to Jesus moment conversations. The clients knew, okay, I screwed up. I screwed up badly. And now I'm getting ready to pay the price. Those were fun conversations to have. I wish those conversations could be better. I wish they listened to videos like this before they made those decisions to increase their lifestyle just because their income increased, instead of looking at it from the perspective of, this is a great opportunity for me to widen that gap even more and to put more money away for savings. Now, I'm not saying that you should enjoy your life. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is this: there is a benefit and cost analysis that needs to be made. Do you choose to spend the money you're earning now and waste it all? Or do you choose to save a good portion of it to be able to utilize later on when, well, you no longer can work, where you don't feel like working, but you decided to invest, you decided to build wealth. So now that wealth is taking care of you later on down the road. The choice is yours. Now let's move on to lesson number 3. They thought in decades, not months. Now, I want to ask you a question. How far are you actually planning? 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years? Because here's one thing I noticed with my wealthy clients: they did not panic when the market went down. They were thinking 5, 10, 15, 20 years ahead. Investment plans, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years ahead, 30 years, 40 years. And I know it sounds crazy, like, wait, 40 years, 10 years? Like, who thinks that far? How do you even know you're going to be alive at that time? That's not the point. The point is this: with wealth, it takes time to grow. So, in order for you to really grasp the growth process of wealth, you're gonna have to have a long time frame. You see, the questions they asked was not what was the market doing today. The question they asked were, how does this decision affect me 10 years down the road? How does this investment plan impact my wealth 10 years down the road? That was their form of thinking. If you're starting to see the gap between what wealth looks like and what wealth isn't, go ahead and subscribe, because the last lesson is the one that actually changes your day to day behavior, not just your mindset. Okay, lesson number 4: they automated their decisions. Now, one of the easiest way we did that was setting up automatic investment plans. Basically, we had a way to go ahead and have money coming out of their checking, savings, wherever they had their money sit, go into the investment and automatically invest the funds for them. Now, this made it easy for them to build wealth. And the reason being is because they didn't have to think about it. There was no action needed on their part once things got started. All they had to do consistently was work hard, make the money, put the money into investments. Done. It wasn't like, oh, let me sit there and try to figure out where I'm going to put the money, what stock I'm going to buy, which one is hot right now. No, 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 no. None of that. That pure waste of time. A lot of people make the mistake of giving themselves a lot more work than necessary. I'll share with you what I do. Simple approach, works all the time. Before my money comes in, I make sure it goes to the investment accounts it needs to go to. Because once the money hits my checking account, that's the money I know I can spend for the rest of the month and not worry about, because I've already saved upfront. The same method and approach is what we use for investing. When you get your paycheck, before it hits your checking account, make sure your paycheck goes to the places where it needs to go to. 600 over here, 500 over here, however much money you want to put away, but make sure it goes into a savings account that is separate from your checking account. Because once it hits your checking account, you know what's going to happen. You're going to spend it. I know. Bender, done that. But when I set up an automatic savings where I put money automatically into an investment account before it even hits my checking account, I've already taken away that friction. Done. That's what you need to do. Because if you do not have a system where it's automated for you, you're not going to get anywhere, because you're going to be fighting against yourself all the time. Now, this sounds pretty simple, right? But you'll be surprised as to how many people do it. It's pretty small. Like, I would say 2 out of 10 people will do this decision. But you're not going to be one of those. You're going to be the one that chooses to build an automatic strategy, automatic savings plan, automatic investment plan. Doing that will 10x your wealth building. Trust me. So, what's the common thread in all of this? They planned far enough ahead that short term setbacks did not affect them at all. They built systems that work even when their motivation wasn't there. You see, more income should mean financial freedom, it should mean progress, it should mean peace of mind, but it only does if you protect the gap. If you separate your lifestyle from your income, if you think decades, not months, and if you take the decision out of saving, where could you be in 10 years? Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to understand how money actually works. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, you're gonna want to watch this next.